Greetings, brothers and sisters. Today I'm going to share a few thoughts with you about one of the most famous of all the parables of Jesus, and that is the one about the Good Samaritan. But this one is very, very easy to understand, but it's the most demanding one to live, and the one which makes us more uncomfortable than any other parable. Here we have a lawyer, a very bright one, and he wants to try and catch Jesus out with words. So he asks, what is the greatest of commandment? Love God above all things. Next, love your neighbor as yourself. And then, well, who is my neighbor? That's the catch question. And the question all of us would like to be able to decide, pick and choose who are going to be our neighbors. And Jesus gives him the parable of the Good Samaritan. And it's the parable of the person who needs a good neighbor, somebody who's going to be neighborly towards him because he is in distress. So Jesus is saying this: the one who is your neighbor is the one who needs your help. And that could be at any time and any person. It could be a person who is known to you, a complete stranger, and it could be a person who is just not your kind of person. And we can act out of our own prejudices, our likes. It could be because of race, of color, social standing, and so on. In the time of Jesus, as we know from the parable of the woman at the well, she was able to tell Jesus that Jews and Samaritans just don't talk with one another. They're not on speaking terms. And that is true about life in society in any nation. In our nation here, you get this kind of thing. And Jesus is saying that is not the right question to ask. Who is my neighbor? The right question to ask is, who is behaving in a neighborly way? And saying, at this moment, I am required to behave in a neighborly way. And this is where it is so so discomforting. It can be so demanding, so inconvenient. I have found it very much as a priest that people will come to me when I've been out all morning working hard, perhaps in Grenada, climbing hills, taking communion, and I come back and I'm looking forward to just sitting down and keeping cool and relaxing. And there is somebody waiting at the door, Father, I need to see, Father, I need to speak to you. And my temptation would be, well, come another time when I'm relaxed. I daren't do that, because very often that person may have a kind of life and death sort of situation. Somebody who's even contemplating committing suicide. I've had that. So it has to be a complete openness. And this is an issue for our society at this very moment. Who is our neighbor? To whom have we got to be neighborly? And we think of all the refugees at this very moment. All those who are seeking safety, security, and even immigrants. That's been a big issue in this question of whether England stays within the European Union or not. It's a big issue. And I don't think we can be really proud of ourselves. And Jesus would not respect us for the mentality of exclusion. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do a favor. What Jesus is saying at a very primitive level, we're all one family, the family of God. And so we've got to be neighborly to any and everybody as the circumstances demand, and never treat anybody as alien. That's not my business. I'm not going to get involved. That's not the way to get to heaven.